every Thursday at 5 p.m. for Likkle Byte Ideas, where we discuss how Likkle ideas are transformed into big dreams. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Cinco de Mayo, 5 at 5 p.m., at least where I am. And I hope wherever you are, you've been having a great day. It is time for another edition of Likkle Byte Ideas. And it is also our Mother's Day edition. So we're going to have a special show. And we have our amazing teenagers who joined us 2 weeks ago. They're back, and it's a special edition. So share the live. Welcome. Call everyone in. If you're a mother, happy Mother's Day. We're here to celebrate all mothers. And of course, let me bring on my co-host, Megan Samuel Fields. Megan, how are you?
Good afternoon, Doreen. I am well. And
Fantastic.
Hello to all our viewers and listeners.
Good well, happy Mother's Day to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. It's a special Mother's Day for me. My son is graduating.
Your son graduates. That is wonderful. I know you feel good.
I do. I really do.
That is wonderful. Yep. These milestones are so important.
So important. And they come in quick and fast and in a hurry.
Yes. So here we are again, another Thursday, and it's 5 at 5.
At 5. 5 at 5.
Numbers.
Oh, yes.
So we have a really dynamic group of teenagers. They joined us 2 weeks ago and just blew us away. And we thought, what a wonderful way to celebrate Mother's Day by actually having some children talk about their mothers and how the money lessons that were handed down to them by their mothers. So we actually have the children on, and we're going to have the mothers on later. Shh. This is going to be a very exciting show. So we thank all of you for joining us. Share the live, call your friends. You can't afford to miss this Mother's Day edition. So let's get started by introducing our teenagers again. And of course, if you missed that amazing episode, go to our YouTube channel. It was 2 weeks ago. You'll see it. They were just amazing. I could watch it over and over again.
Yes.
Yep. So let's introduce our teenagers. Let's start with Sienna Peters. Sienna. Hi, Sienna. How are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm good. How are you guys?
We are doing great. Are you excited about Mother's Day?
Very.
All right.
Do you have something special planned?
Yes, I do, but it's a secret.
All right.
We can't wait. We can't wait. All right. So welcome, Sienna. Let's also welcome Asafa. Who can forget Asafa?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Asafa.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Fantastic. Are you excited about Mother's Day?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
great.
I like your shirt, Asafa. It looks really nice.
Thank you.
Special young man. Okay, and Jai Francis Christopher.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi, Jai. How are you?
I'm good.
Jai is our budding travel expert. And our food show, our foodie.
Right. Oh, yes.
Yep. So, Jai, are things heating up in your home for Mother's Day? Are you guys excited about Mother's Day?
Yep.
All right.
Fantastic. So let's get this ball rolling because, we always have a lot to talk about. Our last show went over time, and now we're bringing in the mothers. So let me start by saying that mothers play a very important role when it comes to financial literacy. As a mother, you have the opportunity to teach your child money lessons, and they in turn can pass those principles, those values on to their children. So what you do today as a mother in terms of money lessons and money guidance and skills, know that you are passing these values on to successive generations, or at least you have the potential to. So why not teach your children great money values? So today we'll get started, and I just want a warm-up question. Sienna, tell us, why is money important?
Money is important because it's just a way of life. That is how you get things. That is how you get your wants, your needs, as mentioned in the last show. And it's just to get you through the steps of life. From a young age to an old age, you'll just need money.
Money, money, money,
So
money.
true. So
Yep,
true.
that's a great answer. Asafa, same question to you. Why is money important?
Yes, as Sienna said, money is a way of life. You need it to buy everything. Everything that's there, you need to buy it. You need to buy food, clothing, a roof over your head, etc.
Hmm. Hmm. So true.
Fantastic.
Can't do without
Jai,
it.
tell us, why is money important?
Okay. Money is a medium exchange. It's the way. It's pretty much the way of life, as Sienna said. It it's basically the building blocks of all businesses.
Yep. That's
The
so
base
true.
of all businesses, and
Fantastic.
business is basically everything now.
Business
Yep,
is everything now. I like that. That's so true.
it's
Yeah.
really true. And you
Yeah.
know, our generation, the culture was a little different. If you talked about money too much, it was seen as vain. It was seen, you know, it was almost taboo to talk about money, talk about your plans. You seemed like it wasn't godly, you
Oh
know.
yes.
So we didn't have money conversations with any in any great depth in terms of planning and what have you. Your parents dealt with money. You may have gotten an allowance, but you were out of place to even be considering money, right, Megan?
Absolutely. And I was, as you said that, I thought in addition to that, as a female, as a girl,
Yes.
it was even worse. You were not
Yes.
supposed to have money conversations
Yeah, money
because
conversations
that
among
was
young
not
girls.
becoming
Yeah,
for a young girl.
it was
You
concerning.
know?
If you seem like you like too much money
Mm-hmm.
or overly ambitious,
Yeah.
that would have been concerning.
Yeah.
So we live in a different age, and I mean now, I
Thank
mean, does
God.
every say that again?
I was saying, thank God we do. Times have
Does
changed.
does anybody have a debit card? Okay, you guys are still a little young. I remember I got my girls debit cards. Maybe how old were they? Maybe 16. A good friend suggested it. You know, do they have debit cards? And I hadn't even thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, no, you need to get them debit cards. They're going to go to college. You need to get them used to spending money. You know, of course, they're going to go over, you know, he said, make sure that they can't spend beyond a certain amount. Their money, you know, they can't go into overdraft, or at least make sure that you're alerted when they, you know, if they overspend. And I'm glad that I did, because once they were ready to go to college, they were used to at least managing their debit card, understanding that what goes in, if it, you know, if you spend it, it's gone, and you have to watch your money, and you have to budget.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I
that,
think
I'll tell you, as a mother of two college children, that is so important because you send them off to college, and the focus a lot of times is on, before they go to college, is on getting your CXCs, making sure that from an educational standpoint, you're ready for college. But a lot of times we don't spend the time to explain money management to teenagers or even younger. And then when they get to college, they have a certain amount of money that probably has to last them for the semester. And how do they do that?
exactly,
So,
exactly. And if you
yeah,
spend it on one thing, you can't spend it on the other.
you can't.
You need to distinguish between wants and needs. So I think
So
it's a
true.
good. I think personally, as a mother, it's a good practice to get children when they're old enough. I mean, you guys are, you know, still young. I think you have some time, but I think it's a good thing to get children up with a debit card or getting used to budgeting and managing their
Managing your
finances.
money.
So great. So my next question for all of you is, tell me about one money lesson that you learned from your mom. I happen to know that all of your moms are professionals. So I want to believe that everyone here got some kind of money lesson. I'm sure from your dad as well, but it's Mother's Day. So I want to hear what money lessons, just tell me one, that you've learned from your moms. Sienna?
Okay, so one money lesson that I learned from my mom when I got my first purse was to always keep extra money at the back of the purse that I don't touch at all. So it's like rainy day money. When things are brown, that's the money that you touch, but you don't use it unless you really need it.
That's
I tell
great
you.
advice. So like an emergency fund.
Yeah.
You always have something put up.
I'm telling you, Sienna, that's a great
That's a
lesson.
great idea.
I do it even up to
I
now.
trick myself all the time too.
Put
with
away a
cash.
little
I
bit.
do it.
And it's funny, the mind after a while forgets that it's there until, whoops, I need some money. And it's like, oh yeah, I put away that money.
And it feels so good when you find
Oh,
$50,
it does. Oh yeah, yeah.
$20,
That's a good tip
$5 that you thought you didn't have.
that you thought you didn't have.
Yeah, you need cash to pay for something, and all of a sudden, because when you need cash, you know,
Yes,
sometimes
the
money in the
actual
bank doesn't
cash.
count.
Mm-hmm.
When you need to pay for something for, you know, tip someone or something that requires a
The
cash
actual cash.
transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Even though now with Apple Pay and all of these other things, you know, cash is
We don't
not
have all of
as
those fanciness down here. So
but
let's
my
keep
kids
it
got me into it. We go shopping and they go, "Do you take Apple Pay?" And I'm like, "I better get Apple Pay."
real.
Yep. So that's great advice, Sienna. Saving, you know, a rainy day fund, an emergency fund is always a good thing to do. So thank you so much for that. I'm going to skip over to Jai, varying the order here a bit. Jai, tell me one money lesson that you learned from your mom.
To invest early.
Mm.
Mom always
Okay.
said one of her biggest regrets when she was younger was to not invest her money early to save up. So she told me, make sure you invest early, like when you start a job, you start saving up money immediately and start investing.
Good. That is
So what are
awesome.
some of the things you think you might invest in early? Your first job, I know it's still early, but what do you envision making maybe your first investment in once you have your first job?
I don't know.
Maybe something to do with travel because that's what you like. Just saying.
Maybe a travel club or something, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah, but that's good advice. That's good
It
advice,
is.
you
It
know.
is advice.
Definitely investing. I don't know that our culture necessarily did a great job in, I don't even know we knew what that meant.
No. So what I can remember as a child is knowing and looking at our parents, knowing that you need to save, but not beyond saving to invest
Right.
or anything like that. It's just saving. But more and more, we realize that investing your money works for you. Get your money to work for you. So very, very good advice.
Yes. Okay, Asafa, it's your turn. Tell us give us one money lesson that you've learned from your mom.
My mother always told me when I get money, when I get my allowance, never to spend all of it because I may need the money later on, the rest of the money that I save. So to always save a little bit of it and not to spend all.
That's great.
Excellent.
How would you interpret that, Megan? Well, how is that how
Well,
does that translate into adult habits?
it's about making sure you save. It could very well be the 50-30-20 rule, where whatever you have, 50% will go towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and then the 20% is what you save. So what your mom said to yourself, it really makes a lot of sense. It won't help you at all if you spend all your money in the month. Then there is nothing to build up. You can never make that big purchase that you want to make. So that's a really good tip. So you all have had some really great advice from your parents.
Absolutely.
So Diri, let me
Absolutely.
ask you,
Uh-huh.
what tip did you get from your mom? What financial tip did you get from your mom? I wonder if it's the same as mine.
I think for my mom, it was always, I don't know that she was explicit, but she believed in having multiple streams of income. So,
To this
find a
day.
way that you can have some kind of side hustle. Don't rely solely on whatever your career is. That's great, but also always find a way to have some side money. So went when I first left school, I worked for a few years before I went to college, and I worked at Liette, and I had a business.
I remember.
I went to Puerto Rico, shopped, bought clothes, and marked them up, and came home, and we had a thriving business. And I
I
would go
do
to all the
remember.
banks and call up all the fashionistas in Antigua and say, "Listen, I have some clothing. Let me know if you're interested." And so I did that, and that really was helpful in even saving to go to college.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How about
Well,
you?
for me, it was similar, but more along the lines of set a goal, a financial goal, and then
Hmm.
work towards it. So kind of similar-ish to you. When I wanted to go off to college, I was working. I was at ACB, but that money alone was not going to cut it for university, and I knew I wanted to go to university. So I spoke with my mom, and we started selling all kinds of stuff. She used to sell stuff at school. She used to teach. And so I used to have to get up early in the morning and do chicken, do meatballs, do
So did I.
fish balls.
And it
And
went
I got
towards
my
your
little
college
money.
fund.
Absolutely. And she helped make sure this is what you're going to save. So you're going to put this away. So thank goodness for that.
We didn't even know there were money lessons. Had somebody asked me at the
Exactly.
time the question you just asked me, I would not have. I'd be like, money lesson. It's taken me years to process all that, to recognize that she was handing down good values. And so even now, you have to really think about multiple ways to generate income. You have to have that hustle,
Have to.
as we are doing here today.
Exactly. Thanks,
All
Mom.
righty. Thank you, Mom. So, to our teenagers, we're going to bring on your moms in about 5 minutes. But before we do, here's what I'd like you to do. And I'm going to start with you, Asafa. I want you to tell us about your mom, introduce your mom, tell us a bit about your mom, and tell us about her hobbies. Before you start, Asafa, let me again welcome our guests. I hope that you are enjoying the show. Please drop us your comments, your questions, because this is going to be a great show when you see what we do. So, before we get the children to, I'm saying children, teenagers,
Mhm.
to tell us a bit about their moms and their hobbies and their backgrounds, what we did, we want them to gift their mom something along the lines of finance. So we gave them $100 each, and they had to do some research. And so today they are going to present their moms either with they may not actually have done the purchase yet, but mom will get to hear the gift that they picked out based on their mom's personalities, their interests, their hobbies, what they like to do. So, um, we were proud to do this on behalf of Samuel Fields Consulting Group. This is a special group of young people. And so, of course, people focus on the fruit, but we also like to focus on the root. And I
Yes.
actually stole that from one of our associates, Mac Gardner. Mac, if you're listening, I never forgot that. You
Yes.
can't only focus on the fruit, which is the children. You have to follow the fruit and go back to the root to see
Absolutely.
from whence cameth the fruit. So we are going to get to meet the amazing moms behind these dynamic teenagers. So Asafa, tell us your mom's name, tell us a little bit about her, and then of course tell us what she likes to do as a hobby.
My mother's name is Charmaine Donovan, and um, she works at the Citizenship by Investment Unit. Um, she grew up in Antigua and moved to St. Kitts. That's where I was born. And she met my father. And when we came back, she got the job. And her hobbies she loves jewelry, and she loves makeup and perfume.
Very nice, very
Doesn't she
nice.
doesn't she like doing something else, Asafa?
Um,
With her voice?
oh yes, and she loves to sing.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Does she perform?
But people ask her to sing for some functions,
Oh,
Oh
and
that's
yeah.
wonderful.
Oh, she is
So
she
she
is
too has
great.
her side hustle.
yes,
That's great. Did you inherit the singing genes by any chance?
a little bit, a little bit. But I play the violin.
Oh,
Nice.
wonderful. Oh,
Yes.
Asapa, you're coming back. We have to get you involved in something musically. That is wonderful. So we'll get a chance to meet Charmaine Donovan in a moment. So thank you for telling us a bit about your mom. Jai, how about you? Tell us a little bit about your mom and what does she like to do?
Well, my mom's name is, well, Yoletta Francis. Everyone calls her that. And she loves actually going outdoors, but she also loves cooking. She loves,
Mm.
she also loves traveling like me. And she loves trying new things and having fun.
Adventure, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
She sounds like a wonderful lady.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, nice.
So, Sienna, tell us a bit about your mom and what she likes to do.
Okay, so my mom is a legal consultant. Her name is Lisa Peters. She enjoys drawing, such as specifically arts and oil oil paints, acrylics, watercolors, any sort of medium, specifically painting.
Wow.
Um, Her cooking is great. I'm not too sure if she considers that one of her hobbies, but I really enjoy her cooking.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
And she's just a pretty cool mom. I think that she likes trying new things and she's up for a challenge. She is what people may call a risk taker sometimes, and she's very flexible.
Oh, nice.
fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing, giving us an introduction to your moms. And we can't wait to meet them. We're going to bring them on camera in a few minutes. But, Megan, are there any questions, comments that we want to take at this time?
No comments yet at this time,
Okay.
but we have a fist bump from a Nubian and New Anthony.
Okay, great. And also, for any of you out there, we want to hear that you have lessons that you want to share, financial lessons, money lessons that you learned from your mom. We want to hear them. I think we all may not have processed them as lessons at the time, but in hindsight, what are some of the money lessons that were handed down to you from your mom? Please drop them in the chat. We'd love to share them. And we appreciate so many of you taking the time out to join us in a special broadcast celebrating mothers everywhere. So, teenagers, let's gather up the moms. Let's get Lisa Charmaine and Yoletta on screen so we can meet the wonderful moms who birth these dynamic teenagers. Hi, Lisa.
Hey,
How are ya?
we are well. How are
good. We're
you?
lining up
Good,
the
good.
moms. Lining up
All
the
right.
moms. These, you guys have done such an amazing job. And as we were saying earlier, it's all well and good to focus on the fruit, but we also want to focus on the root because the fruit
yes.
came from somewhere.
Hi,
So
Yoletta.
we want to meet these amazing moms and to learn more about, some of the lessons that you handed down to these amazing children. In Asafa, I see we're having a future finance minister. Kai is going to be the minister of tourism.
Jai.
And what ministry are we putting Sienna in?
Oh my, Sienna might be planning.
Might be planning. What else is there? Yeah, I could see her with housing.
Oh yes.
She could be the attorney general.
Hey,
If the legal
but you know
are
what?
handed down,
Why are we putting these teenagers in a box so they can be whatever they want to be?
I know. I'm just kidding around. around. And now that I'm remembering, Jai is going to be Minister of Tourism and Aviation. Her mother is the gatekeeper. Asafa, nobody touches finance, okay? This is a future Minister of Finance, hands down. Yep.
So here are the lovely
you guys
mothers.
Are so dynamic and so talented. You can be anything you want to be. I am just blown away by your courage, your intelligence, your creativity, your fearlessness. You guys really, really bring a lot of joy to us. And we really it was the best show ever when we had you on last time.
Best.
We had to bring you back again. Yep. So ladies, happy Mother's Day.
When it comes.
We have a surprise for you. But before we get into that, I have a question for you. Starting with you, Lisa. You have a choice. What is your money mantra or what is your favorite money song? You don't have to answer both. If you can answer both, we would love it. So what is your mantra for money, or do you have a favorite money song?
Right. The money songs probably won't come to me, but
Just
that's exactly mine.
Friday night.
Must be in my pocket. Feeling right.
Yeah.
That was a good one too. But money mantra, I suppose it's something that's always in the back of my head. It's a strategy to always put something aside. And
like at the back of the purse?
Back of the purse.
Yes. So I do have my Vex money. By the way, the Vex money is me being vexed at myself. And that is just something I have just always done. And even within my savings, there's a saving, there's a sub saving, a subfolder savings. And so there's always something that I even put away for my own self, because there's always that time when you need it. And you just never know. And it could be as little as, putting a few notes, $10 bill, $20 bills, sticking it somewhere, then that's just something. So I'm forever present minded of thinking about putting a little something aside. And I've tried to sort of get that message passed along to Sienna as well.
So, Lisa's grandchildren will be, searching the house, holding up the carpet.
And
it's going to be a whole treasure hunt. But Lisa,
there'll be little places in the purses. Yes.
It's going to be a scavenger hunt for money. Once Lisa has grandchildren, once they come to visit, they're going to be scouring the house because they know there's something under the cushion, something behind, something under the sink. But that's really good advice, saving for a rainy day, making sure that you have an emergency fund. And if we did not realize it before with COVID, because sometimes it's not even so much that you don't have money, you need cash. So I think for a lot of us, there are times when you need cash to pay for something, credit cards and other sources of payment. may not work at that moment. You need to have some liquid cash to tip the pizza guy, to tip, you need cash sometimes.
Mhm.
So that's really good advice, ensuring that you put away something for a rainy day, or making sure you have that liquidity to be able to have cash money when you need it. So thanks for that. Asafa, let's see what your mom has to say. So Charmaine, tell us, what is your money mantra, or do you have a favorite money song?
Well, I have both.
Okay,
Asafo did
yes,
tell
let's
me
hear
that I like
this.
to sing, so of course I'll have a song. So my favorite money song is Money, Money, Money,
Yeah,
Money,
yeah. The
Money.
OJs. Is that the
Oh yeah.
OJs?
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Yep,
One of them.
I think so.
I
Yep.
think so. Yeah, I think it's the OJ's.
I think that's one of the most popular ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for me, it's very similar to Lisa, always putting aside a little something, something. I've been a single mother for 10 years now, so I know it's all dependent on me. All the finances
Welcome
required
to
to
the
run
club.
the family is all dependent on me. So you always have to have some sort of rainy day fund set aside for any eventuality. If the child gets sick, or the school needs some extra art material that you didn't bargain for. So you need to always have something set aside.
Lovely.
Fantastic. Thank you
Lovely.
so much for that. Thank you. And if Osafa runs short on his box of money,
You have some money put aside, right?
He digs
Yep.
into his
I'm
purse.
sure that happens from time to time.
Yep, yep.
I know the deal. I know the deal. All right. Jai and Yuletta. Yuletta, do you have a money song that comes to mind? Or what is your money mantra?
So I don't have a song, but I certainly know the song that Charmaine was singing. And if I were to say I had a song, it probably would be that. But for me, it's just been more about always understanding the importance of an emergency fund.
Mm.
And sometimes it's not always easy to put away every month. But I think once you recognize that an emergency fund is necessary and you try to maintain one. So for me, I just try to maintain an emergency fund at a particular level. And then I work with how I top it up when I need to top it up. But that's really it for me, more than anything else. Just always have an emergency fund.
And I think for any mother, regardless what your circumstances are, you could be the richest mother in the world. You could be a single mother. We all know when children there's nothing more painful as a mother than when your child needs something and you're not in a position to provide it for whatever reason. So, that's just a part of the motherly instincts in us as providers to ensure that our children have what they need. And so the mother of all mothers just popped up. So let's see what she has to say.
The mother of all mothers says, "Hi, Auntie Lisa and Auntie Charmaine. Happy Mother's Day. I'm proud of you. Go girls."
I guess she doesn't know Auntie Yoletta.
She knows her from a distance,
Okay.
but I don't think she knows her the way she knows Lisa. And Charmaine.
Well, she knows her now.
But given a chance, she will.
Oh, we know that.
We actually have another message from another super mom. And this is from Dr. Julia Bird. And she says, "Happy Mother's Day to all you super moms and to these wonderful teenagers. The sky is the limit."
Absolutely. They bring such joy to me. They're wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You moms ought to be very, very proud.
Very, very,
so
very
the
proud.
moment we've all been waiting for, I hope they kept it a surprise. But we know how children can be.
They're nodding. They're nodding. They said yes. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So, here's what we did. We were so impressed with your children. We started brainstorming immediately after the last broadcast 2 weeks ago. We said, how can we get these children back? And I read a wonderful article about mom lessons and how, the influence that moms have on their children. And like I said, it becomes generational. Because whatever you pass on to your children, some portion of that will be passed on to their children. So today you're actually setting a trend, and you are starting a generational trend somehow without even thinking about it. Because whatever values that you're passing on as it relates to money, third and fourth generations will get to benefit from it. So you are very important people. So we said, you know what? We're going to give each of these children $100, and we're going to, based on their mother's hobbies, what they like to do, you know, we want them to pick out a gift for their mothers. So it's about, we want to teach them how to save. We want to teach them how to spend. We want to teach them how to network. We want to teach them how to show appreciation. We want to teach them how to create memories. Because I can tell you, they'll never forget today. There could be, you know, Asafa could be prime minister. He will never forget that time when he gave his mom a gift and he thought about it. So we're creating memories. So it's about milestones. It's about money. It's about memories. And, you know, we want to make this a memorable Mother's Day because, like you, we take motherhood very, very seriously. It's something to be celebrated every single day. So I am going to start. I'm going to do the reverse order. I'm going to start with Jai. I think she indicated that she has not gotten around to actually making the purchase yet, but she has time. Today is Thursday. She has time, but Jai, tell us about the gift that you are thinking about getting your mom and how you're going to use your little stipend from SFCG to make sure that you gift your mom something she'll really enjoy.
So my mom's big on kitchen gadgets.
Ooh,
And
sounds like my mom.
Yes. Oh my God.
Sounds like my mom. They could probably
she's
do it.
always buying them.
Is she using them?
Is she
Yes.
using them?
Okay,
Oh,
good.
wow. Well, she's definitely my mom. My mom uses hers.
Oh gosh.
So I knew she always bought them overseas on Amazon because, you know, there's nothing good on island. I'm sorry. And so I was looking through Amazon trying to find one that fit into the budget. And I was trying to make sure I was thinking of American US because, you know, it's Amazon.
To do a conversion.
So you have about $29.99 with shipping and handling.
29.
Yeah, you can do something $29, you know, $29.99.
Yeah.
So you already have an onion cutter.
Oh, wow.
No, the garlic is garlic. And so I got you this. I was gonna get you this. It's the cutter.
The onion. Oh,
Onion
nice.
cutter.
Oh.
And it says it's $26.
So it's the adjustable mandolin food slicer. Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Another
I
gadget.
love it.
I'm planning on
Very
getting it. But
nice.
I don't have an Amazon account.
We'll talk, Jai. We'll talk. We'll talk.
Don't worry.
We'll get that sorted.
We have handlers.
Oh,
Our
gosh.
team can get you what you need. It may
Oh,
arrive
that's
after
so
Mother's
sweet.
Day, but listen, you've done the show. That's a wonderful gift.
So you see, Yoletta, when you think they're not looking and not observing, they're watching. They
Oh,
see
yes.
what you like.
Oh,
That's nice.
yes.
Oh gosh, she's always
Okay.
teasing me about my gadgets. So another one, Mom.
You're so excited about them though.
I am.
Fantastic.
Nice, nice.
Okay, let's go to Sienna. Sienna, tell us how you spent the company's money.
Okay, so my mom, I have noticed this about her. When she works, she likes to doodle.
She's like me.
Yes. And I was thinking while she doodles, she can create her financial plans whilst doodling.
Yeah, create some avatars and what have you.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
So it's A4 paper.
All right. Okay, so it's A4 size. That's nice.
Oh, nice.
And it's
Okay.
pretty heavy stock as well. so I
Ah,
can
She can frame
certainly
them.
doodle with my ink.
all
I didn't
right.
realize how much I doodle until one day I was cleaning up my office workspace,
And
and
you
I
saw
swear,
all.
yeah, there were more doodles than notes.
I do that all the time. It's
Thank
but
you.
yours are probably much more artistic than mine.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm
Mine
sure.
make absolutely no sense. Sometimes I look back cracking up like, what was I thinking
What
about?
was I thinking?
Yeah, I need a consultation or something. Someone who can interpret these things because I just do it. Okay, great. That's such
nice.
a wonderful
Very
gift, though,
nice.
Lisa. You could with A4 paper and with some substance to it, you can put it on your bulletin board.
Well, Sienna said you can create your financial
to,
plan.
to put some things, yes, they're for financial planning. So I'll have to remember that.
So she'll draw her dreams.
Yes.
Hey.
She'll sketch her dreams. Nothing wrong
Lovely.
with that. That's
Lovely.
wonderful. Okay, Asafa, tell us what you got your mom.
So my mother likes perfume and put on makeup. So I so I decided to get a gift.
Oh, that looks. Hold it up so we can see that. So you
Sorry.
picked out all the packaging yourself and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
It's so beautiful.
I'm impressed, actually.
I'm very impressed myself.
Yes, he's been taking notes, it seems, the
Yes.
observe.
So Charmaine, let's see.
Oh, a
that's
gift
so beautiful.
certificate.
So you got a gift certificate.
From Lilac Scents. Nice.
Very nice.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, you guys are so
lovely.
special.
Wow.
You guys are
Heaven.
so special. Yep.
Aww.
Well, you only live once.
He's embarrassed. He's blushing.
I see that.
Oh,
That's all right,
he's got
Asafa.
the wonderful, wonderful. So, ladies, any parting words? This has been a wonderful show. And Megan, do we have any comments that we need to share?
No comments. At this
Remember,
time.
to our audience, we'd love to hear your any money lessons that you learned from your moms. We want to celebrate moms, like we said. They are the perpetuators of good money values, because once it's handed down to your children, the traditions are handed down for generations. So we want to celebrate moms as arbiters of good money values.
So I think one of the things I would love to hear from the moms, what was one thing they learned from their moms?
From their mother. Yeah, we'd love to hear that. Yep.
I could start.
Sure.
It's strange. My mom, I can't say that there was a sit down period. I've had a few with Sienna, but when I thought about it, it's one of the things that I realize is responsible for the way that I deal with Sienna regarding, well, generally everything, but finance too. It's that my mom was very open with me, and she discussed financial matters with me as they were appropriate throughout the ages. So I recall very clearly that in my teens, I knew when the pay periods were.
I think I did too.
What the amounts were. I knew which payment, which check was going to pay whatever bills. I also would know when I would be able to get certain things I wanted at which point in the month. And she didn't hide that from us at all. And so what it did, I know, it probably would not have been common for other parents and children, because we tend to keep those areas of our lives, we compartmentalize those into what's an adult conversation or what's information for adults only, and we tend to shield our children from that. And so, of course, children grow up without understanding that, yes, there are expenses, but that there's a resource. What's that resource? And then how do we operate within that resource? So very early on, I realized that was one of the best gifts my mom gave to me, lesson-wise, was to have the conversation. So I understood, how everything came about, what it was rooted in, when the payments were, what had to be paid first, and the idea that there were bills that had to be met. And so I have done pretty much a similar thing with Sienna, so that she understands, you know, we're not just going to the bank because something's sitting there. It's like, you know, something we put there is what we're taking from, and it's not magically appearing. And I think she was able to grasp that pretty early. And just being able to have an open discussion with your children. Finance is one area, but I can tell you, I think it works across the board. And that's one thing that I definitely got from my mom. And hopefully Sienna will pass that on to, by the way, my grandchild is Charlotte. We already have a name picked out, just so you know. So we'll pass that on to Charlotte. And
if you get twins, what is it?
We'll work that out. But we, you know,
or a boy.
Yeah, we have a
Sally?
boy's name too. We have a boy's name too. But you see, I picked out Sienna's name as at 15. So I suppose, you know.
Okay, got you.
Wow. Lisa, one thing I wanted to thank you so much for sharing. One thing we were talking about earlier before we brought you guys on. Not only were children typically not brought into money discussions, girls especially.
Yeah.
There was a taboo, a stigma. If as a girl you showed any interest in money, it was a cause for concern.
Yeah. I'm thinking that might have been a biblical thing, perhaps, and you know, women not being so-called head of the household, and they were probably attached to those. They're probably rooted in that type of thing. But of course, in the 21st century, I mean,
that's out the window.
Yeah, you know, you're doing it all.
I never thought about that.
But kudos to your mom for being that forward thinking.
Yes, because she would have departed from the norm. She certainly would have taken a different path. She was not raised in that way at all. But I guess, you know, being progressive and probably seeing that, you know, if you leave a female without a sense of, you know, understanding value and understanding money, as a female, you could be put in a pretty precarious situation. So, you know, that might have been the driver there.
Nice.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Let me skip over to Charmaine. Charmaine, tell us, you know, tell us about a money lesson that you learned from your mom.
Well, quite unlike Lisa, my mom came from the real old school. She had me in her late years, so she was pretty old in her thinking as well. And so we didn't really speak much about money matters, except for the fact that you'd know that the budget is tight, and if you needed something, it'll take a long time before you can get it, or if you could ever get it at all. But one thing I observed about her is that she always threw a box.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was waiting to hear, because I know Asafa got the box story from somewhere. I was waiting to hear the box.
Yes, anytime she had a financial goal, she would be a part of a box so that she can meet that financial obligation. And I grew up too doing the same thing. As a matter of fact, I throw several boxes for the school fees. You know, the school fees are like mortgages. So I have my boxes set aside. And what that taught me was that I really needed to have the conversations earlier with my children, because had I known about investing earlier in life, I think life could be different for me right now. I learned these things as an adult after I finished my studies and really started to actively work. That's when I started to learn. And even then it was a little too late, I found. And so I started having the conversations with my children much earlier. I guess that's why Asafa has his box throwing. and getting them to understand how important it is to really manage the money that you get. You know, you have a set allowance every week. Do not spend off the entire allowance. Asafa told you last time that he likes Nerf guns. So he puts aside his money to buy his Nerf gun or whatever else that he likes. He's a budding law enforcement officer, so he purchases handcuffs and walkie-talkie and the whole.
That is generational as well.
Yes. My dad was actually an inspector of police and a ballistics expert. He was.
Oh, nice.
Yes, he used to train.
Did Asafa know him, or it's just?
No, unfortunately, he passed while Asafa was being made in the belly.
But Charmaine, isn't it amazing, right? That he didn't spend He didn't know him, but he picked up so much of
The
these
genes.
interests and traits.
It's
The
there.
genes. The genes are
I'm
strong.
telling you,
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. Amazing.
that is wonderful. Does he spend a lot of time with his grandmother?
Sadly, she passed as well.
Oh
But while
no.
she was around, yes, he did spend quite a bit of time with her.
Okay. Asafa, did grandma talk about her box? Her box hang?
No, no, she didn't.
By that time, she was much older. So I did tell
Okay.
you that she had her later years. So she was much older and, she wasn't really throwing bucks again.
Okay. Got you. Got you.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for sharing. That's a wonderful story.
Thank you.
So let's go over to Yuletta and Jai. Yuletta, tell us about one of the money lessons that you got from your mom.
Okay, so my story is actually very similar to Charmaine's. The only difference is that my grandmother was the keeper of those boxes. So all my life,
Ah,
that was just it was just a part of my upbringing. And so the mantra for us in our household, my mom, my grandmother, it was always about saving, 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 saving. You have to
mm.
save something. um so last week, I think, when Asaf was on, and I was laughing so much because he talked about boxed. And for me, it was a moment because I realized that I had departed away from that whole life so much that Jai didn't even know this about, her grandmother and my aunt and stuff. And so even though I didn't really keep, throwing boxes and stuff like that, I had bank accounts and I understood, listen, I needed to save. And I don't know if maybe it's because the whole box situation was being kept in house and I wanted to be independent. I wanted to do my own thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I certainly understood the value of this box that they used to throw because I see what it did for my family, what it did for my mother. The same thing. Something was needed, it was savings. And so they didn't speak to us too much about the intricacies. It was just being told to you that you needed to save,
Right.
and you're encouraged to try and find some land to buy. So that all that was there. And I did call Megan after the show, and I had to say thank you so much for starting this conversation, because I realized I had been speaking to Jai, and I think example is always the best thing. But I haven't had that very structured conversation with her about financial matters and savings. So we have it in various forms, but never real sit down. And thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for the exposure for them, because it has started. And I hope people are listening and are listening to it with their kids as well, because it's just such an important conversation that I wish
Is.
had been had. But again, I learned by example because I saw what they were doing. I saw how savings, because sometimes I'd look back and I tried to figure out, I know what their income, when I look back now, I know what they were making. And I tried to figure out, well, how did they accomplish the things they did with the money they had,
Mhm,
But
mhm.
they had a method. I don't know how they did it, but
Yeah,
they had a way of making a little go a very long way.
yep.
So
Nickel by
Megan
nickel.
Little
and
by
Deidre,
little.
thank you so much for
And what
this
they would say, mix and divide, cut and
Cut and
contrive.
contrive.
Yep.
Yes, yes, they had a way. They had a way,
They had their
They knew how
Yeah,
way.
to make it work.
yeah. But Yoletta, I really like what you said, and this is part of what we're doing. We want to get the conversations going, and we think the earlier, the better.
The better.
But here's the
Yeah.
thing, it's not just conversations, but it's also the action. So even using what you said with your grandmother and your aunts, they didn't say, but you learned from what they did. So
Definitely.
what I would say to the mothers out there and fathers, it's a two-way thing. It's not just speaking, it's not just doing. I think it's a combination of the two. So
Living by
have the
example.
conversations, but show your children what you do. How do you save? So you can't be, they say, do as I say and not as I do. We have to do both. And I think if we do a lot of that, our children will be so much wiser financially, and then be able to make some really good financial decisions when they get older. So yeah, excellent. And
That is wonderful.
our comments are ram-packed. I guess
would
they were
imagine. We
Oh
live
my
for the
gosh.
comments. So let's get them going so that we can still finish the show in reasonable time. So let's get
Yeah.
the comments going.
All right. So Dr. Berg, she commented again. So much thought went into their gift choices. Awesome. And I second that. They
Absolutely.
studied their mother and they knew what their mother wanted or liked and got a gift. Awesome.
And that's a good life skill. If you're gonna be in business, you really have to understand, consumer behavior. You have to anticipate people's needs, what gets people excited. So it's a good skill.
Absolutely. Carmen James says, Happy Mother's Day, Super Mothers, especially Charmaine Donovan, my CEO. Charmaine, you got a shout out. And we have from Sandra Brown. As a young adult, my mom started a box for her children. She taught us how to save to make big purchases. That is so good.
That is so
excellent. Key. Yep. We have Carmen again. And Carmen says, Happy Mother's Day, Super Mothers, especially my CEO, Charmaine Donovan. I am very impressed with the growth of these young people, our future builders. So true.
Fantastic.
And we not only have mothers listening, we have fathers too. So Clement Samuel says, great show, guys. Thank you, Clement. We also have a comment from Pauline Williams Sylvester. Thank you for this show, ladies. Most interesting. Oh my gosh, greetings from an Antiguan living in Belize. Woohoo!
Oh, wow.
That is nice. Thank
Wonderful.
you, Pauline. And Elizabeth Phillip. She's just saying good afternoon all. And, we have celebrities that watch our show. So we have from Darren Matthew Ward. Good evening. Excellent discussion. Blessings. Thank you so much, Mr. Matthew Ward. And another comment from Elizabeth Phillip. Happy Mother's Day to you all and to your queen. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. All right. That's all that we have for now. And I guess, period, because it's after 6. So
yes.
We're going to
wind down. Before we go, we want to let everyone know that the discussion does not end here. We're actually having a conference. It's called the YOLO Conference. Mothers, if you don't know what YOLO means, our teenagers will say it. What does YOLO mean?
You only live once.
Only live once.
Well,
I didn't know what it meant
we have
initially.
Flipped the script on them, and we have made it the youth opportunities, lessons, and outcomes. So YOLO is about making sure that children, or young people, let's say, you move away from this concept of I only live once, so I'm going to live life on the edge, to listen, let us seize the opportunities now to make sure that we plan the best financial future for ourselves. So the YOLO conference is a virtual conference. Of course, our children speak digital language. And so the YOLO conference happens via Zoom events on June 6th. It is from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 20 different sessions. Some of them run concurrently because we are running 2 tracks. We have sessions that will follow a career track for those who have a career that they're looking to build on. And then we have an entrepreneurial track for people who may also have an interest in going the career route, but also looking to see how they can build their business. So we encourage you, if you know young people, it is totally free. If you know young people who are interested in money, who are making plans, or they should be on that path, we encourage you to tell them about this amazing conference. We have a lineup of dynamic speakers, local, regional, and international speakers. We have speakers from as far as the UK, some in the US, And they're mostly young because we know young people like to hear from young people. And so everything is going to be done in a manner that young people will really appreciate. We're looking at sports and money. We're looking at music and money. We're looking at fashion and beauty and money. We're looking at mental health. We're looking at, what are some of the other things, Megan?
Art and creativity.
Art and creativity and money. So we're not just looking at money in a vacuum, because we are very multi-layered and multi-dimensional beings. We're going to look at money in the context of how most younger people look at money. You know, they're looking at, how can I become a pro cricket player, a football player, a basketball player? And so we're going to present money in that context. And the theme of this summit is going to be money. The acronym is money, but it stands for maximizing opportunities now to empower the youth. So it's about, that's where the YOLO is. Now, what are we doing now? Not just living life, we're preparing, we're maximizing opportunities to empower the youth. So we're very excited about this conference. The starting age is supposed to be 15, but of course we're going to make some exceptions for children,
special people
like
here.
These teenagers who are exceptional. But we, if you know children who could benefit from this, and young people all the way to 35, 15 to 35, we will be providing some very amazing sessions that they can benefit from. Megan, what were you saying?
I was going to remind you to speak about the Innovation Incubator.
Oh, why don't you take it away?
I surely will. So in addition to the sessions, we're going to have an innovation incubator where we will have an exhibit hall of at least 20 young persons who have a business, whether it's a service or a product, and they will be able to display whatever they're doing to the audience so that whoever comes, you can get an understanding of what it is that they are offering and give them a platform to showcase what it is that they do. So there's persons we have actually approached, but if you know of anyone who has a business who may want to use the opportunity, you can get in contact with us, because I think we have a few more slots available for the youthpreneurs, as we're calling them, to display their products and their services. And all the information is on our website, www.samuelfieldsconsulting.com. And everything is free, as DeWeed said. So it's going to be fun.
Yes. Let's take our last comment, and then we'll listen to our ad. And we will conclude today's amazing session.
All right. Well, it's actually a few others. We have Dr. Bird said again, great program. Thanks, Dr. Bird. Fanny King, great show as usual. So proud of these young people. Happy Mother's Day to you all. Thank you, Fanny. And we have Danielle Jarvis. She was on our show last week. And she says, great show. My mom always taught me the importance of saving and having a side hustle. And similarly to Lisa, she was very open about finances and still is to this day. Happy Mother's Day to you all. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, Danielle.
Really appreciate it. Yep, that's it for our comments.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, we want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Even if you're not a mother and you play the role as a mother figure, we want to recognize you as well. It's the influence, it's the information, it's the values that you pass on that we think are most important. So you may not be a biological mother, but if you have that influence to nurture someone young, consider yourself to be privileged, because you are passing along information and values that can become important for an entire generation. Okay. So to our engineer at the back, let's get our YOLO ad up, and we'll come back and say our goodbyes and thank these amazing mother teenager groups here for their contributions here today. So we'll be back momentarily.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm
Okay, great. Well, this was an amazing, amazing show. I just can't wait to see the development of these young persons, how they navigate life and continue to create waves and turn their dreams into reality. As we say, this is a show about how little ideas become big dreams. And so we want to thank all of you for joining us here today. And to our amazing mothers, you're doing a fantastic job as has been manifested by your children and the bond and the love that they've shown for you. So Megan, do you have any final words? I want to say happy Mother's Day to our mom as well, Miriam Samuel. We know she's watching. She doesn't miss an episode. And if she does, she goes back to YouTube to make sure she catches up on it. We want to invite those of you who are first timers or those who may be watching this after the broadcast to go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe so that every time we go live, you'll get a notification, and so you won't miss any of this juicy, exciting stuff that we share in the conversations that we have. So like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, and also like us on YouTube. It's so much to remember. So Megan, any parting words before we sign off today?
Just to say happy Mother's Day to the wonderful mothers on the show, including yourself, to read, and to all the mothers who have been on this show and who continue to support us. We really value your support, and we just want to continue to encourage us all, because it's not a one-off thing for us to continue to pour into our children, whether it's, well, our focus is finance, but we look holistically. So continue to pour into our children, because I like what David said earlier. It's roots and it's fruit. So there is the connection between the root and the fruit is where we do our pouring in, the watering. So continue to do that so that we can have wonderful children or wonderful adults in the future. So thank you once again. And please come back next week. Next week is going to be exciting.
Another
That's
exciting
all
show
I will say.
awaits,
It will be exciting.
for sure. And also, I saw something recently that I thought was amazing. It takes a digital village to teach children how to manage their money.
So nowadays, absolutely.
We didn't have the digital village.
No.
So
We had a village, but not digital.
Yeah, of course we had our village, but a village only went but so far. But now with a digital village and digital resources, they can get access information from just about anywhere around the world. And of course, we appreciate you, our digital audience, from far and wide. So come back. We want to thank our nephew, Nicholas, who is at the controls in the back.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you. Of course, we just come on and try to look good, but we wouldn't have a clue how to execute half of this flawlessly. So we thank Nicholas, Alia, who is also a part of our technical team. She's not here today, but we want to thank her for her continuous support in helping us to produce this show. And to everyone who joined us, thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule. Again, come back next week. Next week is going to be another exciting show. Don't miss it. Have a great evening and a great weekend, everyone. And to our amazing teenagers, we're already thinking about how we can bring you back.
Oh, absolutely. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Happy Mother's Day to you both as well.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Thank you.
Enjoy your Mother's Day, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And to all mothers as well.
Yes.